Only $1 million, huh? Jeez.
Nice.
5-bedroom, 4-bath, 5,000 square feet, built in 2006. I'll tell you what could be happening with that one right away, because that's what I always look for. It's basically a new house in the middle of a bunch of old houses where you lose that character and charm. They try to get you that look. I think that's what it is in there. Maybe that outside doesn't quite fit in that area. Yep,
that's a great area.
It is, but it's an old, charming area.
But here's what's interesting, Chris. Like, you're right. I just did 2 markets over there. That part of St. Paul is some of the most recently developed of the St. Paul proper, right? So it was farmland, and then all of a sudden they developed it, and some of the second and the third phases or the last phases of Highland were bigger lots, and then they built bigger luxury homes. They wanted to kind of make it like the extension of Summit Avenue, if you will. That's the golf courses, and that area does have like one that we just priced. A house across the street sold for $900,000, and we're pricing at $359,900 right across the street. It is. You're right. It's all over the board. And of course, the couple that owns the $359,900 is like, they sold for $800,000, so we should probably get at least $5,000. And I'm like, no, because you're people that buy your house, they get jealous looking at across the street, but they're part of the other neighborhood that sells for $359,900. I get it. You're close by, it's being it's not osmosis where it just sucks you in, but it is, you might get $5,000 more, but not $30,000 or $100,000 more.
Nick, a lot of times what happens with these two is that sellers, let's just try it. Let's give it a shot. And the realtor's like, you know what? It's too much. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. I'm going to predict that the front of the photo here, when's that going to show up, Andy? Because I think that's going to be the problem in those areas, because you want that. I mean, look at the charm.
You can see the smaller houses out the windows. Well, and the sad reality is they may have $1 million, $1.2 million into the house. Real estate, we tell people this all the time, is on the front end when you're making the buying decision. That's actually a very charming house. When you're buying that house and you're making that buying decision, by the amount that you invest, you're deciding how long you have to stay there to get your money back. And sometimes you could live there your whole lifetime and not get your money back if you invest in the wrong area or you overinvest in value, right? So, you have to be a little bit protective. Kind of my old rule of thumb is you want to stay within 15% of all the other house values in that area, plus or minus. If you're on the minus side, like let's say somebody else goes in there and builds a house for $850,000 and everything's selling for $1 million, they're going to make a killing. And they're always liquid. They're always ready to move. They always, they're going to be light on their feet, ready to move in any direction you need to, because they're at the right side of the scale. At $1 million, the problem is $999 reads a lot better than $1 million. It's a psychological, just for $19.95 instead of $20, right? And there's something to be said for that. And I don't care if they're multimillionaires or not, it's over $1 million. Now, they might be saying, well, we only want buyers that think that it's $1 million plus house because that's who we want. Well, guess what? You don't dictate what people think. You're guessing what people think, and you're assuming what people think. You have to look at the facts. Look at the track record for that area. Look at how many houses are sold in that area for over $1 million. Look at how many houses, what the saturation rate is in that price range. And you might say, oh my God, it takes 3 years to sell a house that's over $1 million in my neighborhood. You may choose not to sell it for $1 million, but if I list it at 900, it'll sell in 60 days or less, right? Yeah. Make a business decision.
There's some marketing thoughts into that $999 or $1 million. And you can argue both sides. You really can. Some people want, hey, I bought $1 million home. Even though I might get a better deal, it was $1 million home. And versus, $999 or $995, whatever. But these guys started at $1.1 million. I don't know how long it's on the market, but I look at a few things. It could have been pricing. That front picture of the house, which ended up being, I don't know what number photo it was. It does sit up high on a hill. How many days? Is that 74 days? So they reacted, committing to selling and, dropping $100,000 right away. I think there was some talk about what Andy was just discussing. You know what? Maybe we should start at $999. And they're just like, you know what? No, this is worth more and the market's great and everything's perfect. And, people are going to be able to look past, even though Andy said that was a charming looking house. It doesn't look like all the other ones that were built in the 1940s. They don't have the Tudor look.
It looks like it might be on a busy corner too. I didn't get the map moved kind of quick, but it goes right along the high school there, the golf course I saw. Right across the street from the golf course. Yeah, that's on the main drag, almost Snelling. One house in. So you have a lot of road noise there too. So, it's still a beautiful area, beautiful neighborhood.
Just trying to push it at the beginning. And that's the thing. You got to remember your best people are the ones that are looking at the beginning. And if you're outlawing them right away, it's not a smart thing to do, because now you're waiting for new people to come onto the market, or people that I would have went and looked at it, but I didn't think that the price would go low enough. Those are the people that are now looking at it, trying to look for a deal.
Think about this. When you create event pricing, this is something that I talk to people about. You have a unique property, maybe you have to do event pricing where